morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity Church. We'd like to begin our service. If everyone will take a look at our PowerPoint up there, and we'll have our, is there one just before that, Sash? There we go. Our affirmation for the month of May, and we'll affirm this together. I am filled with appreciation for life. I am grateful. And now we're going to rise and sing our signature opening song by Faith Rivera.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Today's daily word is let go, let God. I let go and let God be God in my life and in the lives of my loved ones. Watching a child get on the school bus, begin a new career, or start his or her own family is an exercise in letting go for the parent. We are proud of each step in their growth toward independence, yet we may find it difficult to give up control. Whether a child, parent, spouse, or friend, they each have their own path to follow, and I trust God to guide them along the way that they should go. Holding on to my faith in God, I take a breath and let go of the need to be in control. I trust God to show them and me a vision far greater than any I could imagine on my own. Through letting go and letting God, I allow my loved ones to reach their highest potential. But I am like a green olive tree in the house of God. I trust in the steadfast love of God forever and ever. Psalm 52:8. Our today's daily word is let go, let God, and our affirmation is I let go and let God be God in my life and in the lives of my loved ones. Together. I let go and let God be God in the lives of my loved ones.
And now I invite you to visualize our sanctuary as a beautiful heart. And we see this heart moving in and around and through each one of us. Moving back into Sunday school. Just surrounding this whole area, our Unity Center, with that light and love, the caring and compassion that we have for ourselves and each other. So just breathe into this heart space and allow it to be filled with that love. Right here and right now, if you are in need of prayer or know of anyone in need of prayer, see them in our heart. And if there is any circumstance in your life or in your world, and in our world, let us see that circumstance being blessed and held in the highest as we sing the prayer for protection. And now is our time of meditation and prayer, and so I invite you to get comfortable where you are. Close your eyes if that feels right to you. And we begin our time of centering and prayer by just breathing. Taking a deep breath right here and right now. And as you exhale, allow yourself to just begin to relax. Breathing in again deeply. And exhaling deeply. We just allow our thoughts to move on by. We rest in the consciousness of our heart as we breathe in and breathe out. This truly is a holy moment. This is our time of resting in that consciousness that is whole and complete. We just let go and let God. We trust that all things work together for good. We know that right here and right now, this is our time of consciously connecting with the God of our being. And we hear that still small voice We hear ourselves saying yes to God, yes to good. We remember that these times of transformation, times for change, time for growth, it is our time to be all that we can be. Today is a new moment. This moment truly is ours. It is ours to create in our mind, by our thoughts. It is ours to create by our feelings, our emotions. And we know that God is the source of our supply in every way. That whatever we need for anything in our lives is within us. That spirit of faith, of gratitude, the spirit of all-knowing, of feeling connected. We allow that oneness to permeate our being, to allow ourselves to feel whole and complete, right here and right now. And as we go into a time of quiet prayer, whatever need you may have right now, whatever blessing you wish to give, or a blessing that you may need, allow this time, these moments in quiet prayer to fill you, to nurture you, to love you into wholeness in this moment of silence. And now taking another deep breath. And as we exhale, we smile knowing that all good is here for us, right here and right now. Answered prayer, guidance, direction, prosperity in every way is ours right now. With a grateful heart and a spirit of thanksgiving, we truly say in these moments, dear God, thank you for all the good, for allowing us to be filled with your presence, your love, right here and right now. And so it is. Amen. And speaking of that, how is everyone today? Wonderful, great, good. That's good to hear. I'm going to move this mic. Hopefully nothing happens. Doesn't happen too often. But when the batteries are low, it will let us know. Do you ever squawk when you need to be fixed? We used to when we were babies. So this is a season of graduation, isn't it? It's a fabulous time of year. And the spirits are high, wouldn't you say? For all of the young people, whatever grade they might be. I have a granddaughter who's having a promotion ceremony from 8th grade. Any of you had those when you were young? 8th grade, maybe, I don't know, some of them have them in kindergarten now. But at any time when we think about graduation, what do you think of? What comes to mind when you think of those words about graduating?
Moving forward.
Moving forward. That's a graduation, moving forward. Yes. What else? What else comes to mind? Accomplishment. Yes, it does. What else? What else comes to mind? Change. All of those things happen. Now I want you to go back to that special time in your life when you graduated from something. Can you remember that? Can you call forth that energy and that feeling? Yes, you can. So graduation in the dictionary means, to complete a degree of study. And it also says that, which I love, if you use it as a verb, it means to pass by degrees, to change gradually. How many of us started in kindergarten and were able to do all the work and graduate from high school immediately? There are a few. Those geniuses are out there. But most of us did it on a gradual basis. So why is it when we come to Unity and we think, we heard a lesson, we went to a seminar, and we should have it now? We forget that life lessons are gradual. And to be patient with ourselves. When you're in kindergarten and learning to color, maybe you don't ever want to color in the lines. Isn't it true? But how many of you were taught that you had to stay in the lines? We were. Do you know that they don't teach cursive anymore? How many of us struggled to get those perfect loops? And now, because computers do it for us, children no longer have to learn cursive. Isn't that amazing? I was in shock and then awe, like, wow, will they be able to read it when they see it if they don't know it? Quite amazing. I don't know. But when we think of graduation and moving forward, we want to feel that energy of excitement and enthusiasm. That's why I want you to remember when you graduate, if it was high school or college or whatever you graduated from. I know how I felt graduating from ministerial school, which all of you got to experience last year and this year. It took me a very long time to do and redo all those classes, get all those credits, do all that was required of me to become a Unity minister. Because it was a dream I'd had for a very long time. And that feeling that comes over you with a sense of accomplishment. And it doesn't have to be schooling. Maybe you learned to dance, a special dance that meant a lot to you or means a lot to you. How about playing an instrument? Art. Whatever it might be that you learned that becomes a part of you. Have you ever thought about why something comes easier than others? Were you good in math? In algebra? Tom's laughing. Well, I was good at algebra, but I didn't do well at geometry. It didn't work in my brain. So there's certain things that come to us naturally and other things that we may have to struggle for. Wouldn't you say? But we don't want to ever give up. We just don't want to ever give up. And in the Bible, there's a wonderful verse that is about having faith. Faith in who you are and what you do. And it's called the faith in what we don't see. And when you're on that graduation platform, getting ready to go out into wherever you might be going, or not knowing where you're going to go, we have faith in what we don't see. The fundamental fact of his existence is that there is a trust in God. This faith is the firm foundation under everything that makes life worth living. And remember, if we don't have faith, what do we have? It's our handle on what we can't see. The act of faith is what distinguished our ancestors, and set them above the crowd. One thing I absolutely love in the Hawaiian culture is that every event you call forth the ancestors to be present. In the day, if you're going out in the forest, if you're doing an event, you call forth the energy of those who have gone before you to be with you, to guide you and direct you. I think it is so beautiful and very holy. And I love that. And sometimes when I do weddings, there'll be pictures of the people who are no longer present that they would like to have, or they'll light a candle for that person to bring forth that energy, the connectedness, the oneness of life, of all life, life that is passed on and life that is yet to be. And so Cheryl Richardson is just one of my favorite mentor teachers. And I got an email from her recently, and it was a rewriting of what she had said in a commencement speech for a graduating class. She didn't say where it was, but it was a few years ago. And the title of it is How to Get a Master's in the School of Life. And so picture this is what Cheryl Richardson was saying to this graduating class. Dear class, for the last 20 years, I've worked as a coach helping people to create great lives. I've guided artists, entrepreneurs, corporate employees, moms and dads through the process of identifying what really matters, and I've held them accountable as they take steps to honor their values and their most treasured priorities. She writes, I've learned a lot about what it takes to live well, and I've learned a lot about what gets in the way. And so she shared with them 7 lessons to remember as you set out on this new adventure. And I personally believe that we have a new adventure every day, and we have the opportunity and the ability to set forth guidelines and direction for ourselves, no matter what age we are. Because aren't we always changing? Aren't we always taking on a new adventure, whether we planned it or not? So she wrote this, number 1, spend more time on the one who really matters rather than the what. So it's a little complicated, but that's what she says. Spend more time on the who rather than on the what. What you do will always be less important than who you become. Knowledge is great, but it will never take you as far as your courage, your integrity, your reputation for someone who keeps his or her word, or your commitment to be of service. As you go through life, you will face challenges and obstacles. When you do, make it a habit to ask yourself these 3 questions. How can I grow from this experience? What qualities of character am I being called to develop? How can I use this event to make me a better person? Number 2, follow your heart. Pay far more attention to what you think than what everyone else thinks. The most common regret I hear from my clients has to do with the fact that they listened to everyone else but themselves. At the end of your life, the most important person you'll have to answer to is you. And how many of us do that? I spent a good portion of my life, my early years, thinking everyone knew what was best for me. And when I finally began to hear that still small voice that said, you kind of know a lot. So give yourself some credit and let's start doing some stuff. Because that's what needed to happen. And was it fun all the time? No. Was it painful at times? Yes. Did it grow me spiritually? Yes, absolutely. That connection with God became greater every time I stepped out into the world to do something that I might be afraid of doing. Number 3 is develop a strong maverick muscle. Be willing to bend the rules. Learn how to disappoint others gracefully. Get comfortable with people not liking you. Strive to be an original thinker. She writes, I have a little sign in my office that says, no guts, no glory. And I use it to remind myself that it pays to be rebellious now and then. How many of us were told to not be rebellious? to not go outside the lines. I was perfect at that. I never, ever wanted to be reprimanded, get my name on the board. God forbid I ever got a check mark. I mean, I had to make it be perfect. And so she writes, trust me, your willingness to rock the boat will set you apart from 95% of the people out there. So do what it is you came here to do. Number 4, build your courage muscles. Cheryl Richardson is all about stepping into faith and having courage. Starting tomorrow, you can start even today. Practice doing one thing a day that frightens you. Learn to water ski, ask someone out on a date, offer help to a stranger, publish a blog. Small acts of courage strengthen your ability to take even bigger leaps later on, like deciding to write your own book or run for political office. If you really want to build your courage muscles, take a public speaking class. How many of you have ever gone to Toastmasters? It is the greatest experience and also very scary, very stressful, and it will change you. One of the requirements for Unity to become a Unity minister is you have to go to Toastmasters for at least a year. You have to take the first communication class. And so this is like 6 years ago now, when we were at Pottery Terrace, the only Toastmasters on this side of the island was at our church on Tuesday nights. And I was a little wanting to get out of going to Toastmasters. I'd been doing Sunday services for years. So I thought, is this something I really need to do? And they said, yes, you have to do it. In order to become a licensed Unity minister and to go on to be ordained, you have to take Toastmasters. And I remember my first speech and standing up in front of people. Now, I'd been doing it for years. I was nervous. You have to prepare. You really prepare when you go to Toastmasters. And they teach you how to do everything. And then you know that people are going to give you loving sheets that critique your speech. And are they always loving? No. Kathy says no. But they come from a good place. That's what whenever I read them, I was like, and of course, it was the greatest feeling to get all these kudos and to be the leader of the class. You know, any of you like to be the head of the class ever growing up? Yeah. And you know what happens when you're up on a pedestal? Somebody's going to knock you over. And so it's an adventure, but Toastmasters will teach you how to grow in your confidence in speaking and to be able to articulate what it is that you need to know. And so I will always be grateful that I was forced to go to Toastmasters by Unity Worldwide Ministries. Wonderful thing. And Cheryl did too. She went to Toastmasters and she said it changed her life. And it's a great thing. And it still meets here on Tuesdays. And I'm not sure where they meet, but there's one here, there's one in Waimea now, there's one in Hilo. So it's a wonderful thing. Okay, lesson number 5. Don't go to the hardware store for milk. When you're excited about doing something new, make sure you turn to people who will encourage you to take chances. There will always be people who will tell you why your idea is risky or why you can't do something. That advice is usually based on the mistakes they've made or the chances they didn't take because they were afraid. Someone's past does not equal your future. I love that sentence. Someone's past does not equal your future. Oh, when faced with a naysayer, smile, say thank you, and turn around. Stick with the positive people who believe in you. And by the way, your mom is right. You do become the people you hang around with. So choose your friends wisely. Did your parents ever tell you that? Oh, yes. And I did it to my kids, and I watched them do it to their kids. It's great. Number 6, live by this mantra. Where there's a will, there's a way. How many of your parents taught you that? Where there's a will, there's a way. And so we don't give up, especially when things get hard, and don't ever let anyone or anything put limits on you. Number 7, stay connected. Texting will never replace the value of a live connection with someone. Every now and then, pick up the phone and call a friend or visit a loved one rather than send an email or a text. When we come to the end of our lives, it's who we loved and who loved us that matters most. Make it in-person time a priority. Finally, at the time you were born, you were given an amazing gift. A gift that most of us forget as we grow older. You are an artist. Jack Boland says the same thing. The canvas is your life. Make something beautiful. You all are an artist. Every one of us in this room is an artist. The canvas is our life. Make something beautiful. From this moment on, if you take ownership of this gift and use it wisely, your life will become an extraordinary work of art. And then she said, congratulations. So as you attend graduations or see them on TV, when you know they flip their tassel and toss their hat high in the air, that's the enthusiasm, the excitement that we all have in our inside of us to move forward at any age to do what it is that we came here to do. And remember that it's a gradual process. We don't learn it all in a day. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we pick up things quickly. But in order to grow spiritually, it takes us a lifetime of practice and of doing the work. And so as you move forward, thinking of graduation, every time, just see yourself tossing your hat in the air and saying, look out, world, here I come. Thank you, everyone.